start the third quarter. Anything you want to say about the Giants and Raiders?
It was a bullshit game.
Raiders, who are you? Find your identity. It's looking rough out there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen. Like, 3 or 4 of these games, the results of which this week, it doesn't happen. So
crazy. It was a crazy.
Chalk it up to a bum week, I guess.
I named this episode NFL's Wild Week. It's crazy. Let's move on. Another team that just seems to have fucking hit a wall, the Panthers. Patriots 24, Panthers 6. Mac Jones finally looking like he's a rookie. 12 of 18, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Sam Darnold looking like he's a high school freshman. 16 for 33, 172 yards, 3 interceptions. Remember when Sam Darnold was looking like maybe he wasn't a wasted pick and that the Jets just fucked him?
Gone.
Yeah, and it's gone. He sucks.
Yeah, I saw a hilarious meme today because of the diagnosis of his injury. Let me pull it up. He's got what's called an incomplete fracture, and someone just said, "This man can't even complete a fracture."
Yep. That's hilarious.
Brutal.
That is hilarious.
I feel bad, man. I was still rooting for him. He's had his struggles. I thought he got, I was hoping he wasn't fully ruined by Gase, and I think, he may have been. And who knows what his career would look like if the Jets had not been idiots and hired Matt Rule from the jump. I think it would be a completely different story with him starting fresh with Matt Rule from, the very beginning of his NFL career.
Potentially.
So I still feel bad. I'm still rooting for him to maybe turn it around, but it's looking less and less likely.
I still say the 3 worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL are Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, and Jared Goff. Those are the 3 really bad ones, in my opinion. The 3 worst of the quote-unquote starters. I'm not counting, like, Jacoby Brissett, filling in for Tua, or, someone who's starting because of an injury. I mean, the quarterback that we all acknowledge is the starting quarterback for the team. Anyways, Patriots 24, Panthers 6. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 carries for 62 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 14 for 52. Those running backs were also the leading receivers. Ramondre with 2 for 44. Christian, 4 for 54. Another big kicking game. Really, the only real action in the game. There was Damian Harris 3-yard touchdown run. Hunter Henry 7-yard pass. But the interceptions really making a huge impact this week. J.C. Jackson, 88-yard interception return for a touchdown. So that's Xavier McKinney took over a game. That's J.C. Jackson took over a game. And I know that it was a blowout, but I'm still going to give it to Denzel Ward with his 99-yard interception return for a touchdown. Pick 6 is the big thing of the week, if you ask me. Let's see. Yeah, the Panthers started out 3-0, are currently 4-5. That's not good. What was at one point the best defense in the NFL and the league's leading touchdown rusher being Sam Darnold, that's all just fallen away. It's not even a thing anymore. I think we said the Panthers were on the cusp of being contender. I think that they're down toward the bottom of pretender at this point. So, thoughts? Do you think the Panthers can turn it around, or do you think that we've seen, who they truly are? Because they've looked really bad.
No. Oh, I'm turning it around.
I think you said it. Man, nail on the head.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Oh my God, Dan Beebe, plug your fucking ears, man. All right, Dan O'Shea, in our pick'em, you literally in your email said Jags, LOL, JK, Bills.
I mean, come on, you can't write this. This, like, what happened in this game? I wish I could have watched this one, because even though I'm guessing it was a complete shit show, it's just bananas for, like, you know, what everyone's considering maybe one of the best teams in the league to lose to the bottom of the barrel. I guess the Lions are at the bottom of the barrel, so it could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the most recent power rankings, a lot of them have the Texans as number 32, with the Lions ahead of them.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I could see either scenario. I also think the Lions have a better future than the Texans, so, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I picked the Lions this week.
Oh, well, we'll be talking about them next week, I'm sure. But Josh Allen, 264 yards, 2 picks. Trevor Lawrence gets injured, comes back in. His first real taste of being an injured player in the NFL. Josh Allen, also the leading rusher, 5 carries, 50 yards. Carlos Hyde, 21 carries, 67 yards, with James Robinson being out and, you know, stupidly drafting a running back really bit them in the ass. But I just like to bring that up. Stephon Diggs, 66 catches, 85 yards. 66, holy shit. Oh my God. Stephon Diggs, 6 catches, 85 yards.
Record breaking, but still, they must have all just been 1 yard catches.
Oh, man. And then the former Panther Arnold, 4 catches, 60 yards for the Jaguars. A lot of field goals, no touchdowns.
Did you guys watch this game? What happened? And is this a write-off game for the Bills, or is this like a wake-up call? What do we consider this?
Didn't watch. We didn't need to. Yeah, I mean, it's if it isn't a write-off game, let's just say they're just as good as a handful of other teams now. So
no, I think it's a write-off game. It was just sloppy. I think the Bills got the slap in the face they need. They lost to a terrible team. I think they're going to come back.
Classic trap game.
Yep, I think next week they're going to fucking smack the Jets. That 12.5-point favorite.
Hang on.
They're probably going to beat them like 56-10.
You forgot Mike White is back this week.
Okay, 56-17.
On his name. No, well, yeah, for the Jets, because Mike White isn't good.
All right.
To dunk on the Bills.
They don't play basketball. It's a football game. Anyways, I think what the Bills need to do is to just write that.
Just from the whole time they think they're playing basketball.
Yeah, probably. They need to write the score on a piece of paper, rip it up, throw it in the trash, set it on fire, and just fucking forget it. It was a bad game all around. The Jags didn't do anything well either. That's something they need to think about. Did they have a bad game? Yes. Did they have a hard time executing? Yes. But did their defense hold the Jaguars? Also yes. Their defense did their job. It's not like they got beat by 28-7.
Yeah.
They lost on field goals.
Sleep fine. The offense is going to have, some nightmares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think they just need to move on, forget all about it, and then just go take out their aggression on those Jersey Jets.
As Ted Lasso said, be a goldfish.
Yeah. All right. Guys, we're going to take another quick break, and when we get back, we're going to finish up Week 9 of the NFL. You're listening to Dan D'Antoni Sports. And welcome back to Dan D'Antoni Sports. We're going to forge ahead, move on with the next game. Just doing a quick few minutes of research here. And I see we're doing the Ravens-Vikings game. The Ravens have had 3 overtime games this year. One against the Raiders, one against the Colts, and one against the Vikings. And they are 2-1 in their overtime games. The Minnesota Vikings have had 1, 2, 3 overtime games as well. And in those games, they are 1-2. So I think these are the overtime teams. And they just so happen to go to overtime against each other. Baltimore Ravens come away with a 34-31 victory, putting them up to 6-2. Minnesota Vikings 3-5. Kirk Cousins, a pedestrian, 187 yards, had himself a decent game with 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 266 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Dalvin Cook, who may or may not be in some hot water. We're not going to address that because we don't have that much time left, and that's a whole clusterfuck of stuff going on. But Dalvin Cook, 17 carries, 110 yards. Lamar Jackson, 21 carries, 120 yards. He had almost as many rushes as he did passes, which is ridiculous. Justin Jefferson, 3 catches, 69 yards. And Marquise Hollywood Brown, 9 catches, 116 yards. So it's only fitting that the overtime teams play against each other and go to overtime, as the Ravens beat the Vikings 34-31. Any takeaways from this game? It was a really good game. I enjoyed it. It's another one that I was able to watch on Tuesday. Yeah, I watched it yesterday, not today. It's another game that I was able to watch yesterday. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. I caught some of that thanks to the overtime, especially because that was like the highlight of my weekend for football. Yeah, it was really close. Both teams were playing pretty well, at least offensively. Man, when Lamar turns it on, he turns it on. And it seemed like he was struggling to start that game, and then all of a sudden, just, throwing bombs down to Hollywood.
Yeah, that's a good receiver to have. I don't know if I'm a team, if I feel confident in him being my number 1, but he's definitely a top 5 number 2 receiver in the NFL, in my opinion. He's very good. I like him a lot. Yeah, I also really like Justin Jefferson. So it was a matchup of 2 really fun to watch wide receivers. Justin